Shout out to the beat the feet man, apparently.
All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Saturday afternoon, ready to do some feedback. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. Official weapon of the show is an unofficial sport. Bullet Ball Extreme. Today's a feedback episode. Time for us to read all the comments that you sent in, the voicemails you sent in, the emails you sent in, the votes in the polls, all that stuff. You can find the polls on our website, theblackouttips.com. And while you're there, you can also do stuff like comment on episodes. On Spotify, you can vote in polls. You can leave comments there as well. And most importantly, though, you can give us money. Some people just give us money out the goodness of their heart, and when it comes to those people, we like to give them at least a shout out. I feel like that's the least we can do.
Tell them
so
thank you.
We want to say thank you to those that took the time out to give us some money. That's right. Today's a new day, but it's that same OG because I'm nothing make nothing move around here without the money. Okay, cash rules everything around me.
Come on.
Adam S, Michael S, Tom W.J, Dana R, Rita May C, Noel W, Bomani Jones. You may have heard of him. Nicholas Z, Laura E, Renate M, Pete B, Sonia B, Johanna M, David from Brooklyn, Ricky A, Pretty Rick what they call, Cavis D, and Laura F all took the time out to give us the money that jingles and the money that folds, and we appreciate all of y'all. Thank you so much for this cash. Now that I watch Greenleaf, that music hits even harder.
Hit a little differently, don't it?
Made me want to start having fairs because apparently that's what they do.
No!
And murder some people too.
Oh no!
That's the kind of show it is, Karen. Okay. We got some 5-star reviews. We got, I want to say 3 new ones.
Let's go. 5-star reviews. Shout out to y'all.
Let me check the calendar here, but I want to say the last time we did feedback was the 18th. And so we got 3. Yeah. Excellent podcast. This is from Awkward CC, who says, "Hi, I'm an avid listener, but I've never left a review. When I moved to Charlotte in 2018, someone recommended this podcast." Okay. Shout out to my local people. Okay. I didn't listen at first until the pandemic hit, and I would take daily walks, and I needed something to entertaining to listen to. I spent a lot of time alone and isolated, and Rod and Karen, you became my friends in my head. Y'all in the chat room got me through the pandemic. Now I live in California, but I still listen. Yes. Okay. I see you traveling
buddies.
Excellent, funny, and informative podcast. Hope you continue to do great things. We shall try. We endeavor to do so. And thank you for listening to us, and shout out to your friend. Listen, a lot of people get word of mouth. This how the podcast is spread, honestly, because people don't trust anything anymore. No institutions. They only trust each other. And listen, you guys tell somebody, hey, check out this podcast. People gonna do it. Love the show. This is from Dragon Fruit, who says, "I listened to the show with my dad. He's already sent a 5-star review, but I thought it's time I should too."
Oh, shout out to Daddy.
Okay, I love when we intersect them generations. Okay, it's not all. Now, hopefully, both of y'all know where each other's coming from. Hopefully, we help, or y'all get together and y'all both agree or disagree with us and have good, fruitful conversations. We love to see families that listen together. Okay?
We do.
Because Karen told me to. This is Allegra.
Come on through.
Hey, Allegra. Don't get me wrong. This show is my favorite. It is easy to refresh my previous review, but what prompted me is wanting to please Rod and Karen and let them know they just keep getting better with age. Oh, I've even shared it to some very special white people. One of the good ones. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what that means. They coming to the cookout now. It's that easy.
They got their ticket.
All white people have to do is get the suggestion. They don't even have to listen to the show. They immediately get cookout tickets. The two are amazing, and I'm glad I found y'all 6 years ago. Thank you, Allegra.
Thank you.
Appreciate you for listening, and glad, we love to hear those bonds where it's like people been listening for a while and they continue to listen. They refresh their review, which means they've been listening for a long time and still like us. Feedback in the Flash was our feedback episode. It was only 40 minutes long because we just zipped through that shit. But we had 5 comments. It's Me says, I got Juneteenth off as a floating holiday. Made sure I took it off.
Go ahead.
Appia says, ketamine is a legal antidepressant drug for treatment-resistant depression. It's a nasal spray. I read a lot about it and found it very interesting. How a drug has a certain image and how it can change over time. Cocaine and heroin started as medical drugs. Cocaine was used to stop alcohol dependence. I'm sure it works, but it gives you new worse problems.
Right?
Well, you just be drunk and on cocaine. Heroin was a pain.
Up and a downer.
Yeah, heroin was a painkiller. Same here. Cigarettes were recommended by doctors to lose weight, and also same here. Weed used to be seen as bad and dangerous. MDMA, Molly, is now used to help with PTSD. It's interesting how this all changes. I asked about the MP3 option because I hesitate to call an American number. Dan Savage has it too, but I understand you not wanting it. And Mickleby replied to this comment and said, when I had treatment-resistant depression a few years ago, I went through every conventional medicine and I didn't see an improvement. So my doctor recommended getting a ketamine infusion at a local pain clinic. I had no idea why anyone finds it enjoyable recreationally. I felt woozy and gross for a few hours and then went home. I don't think it did anything for my depression. It cost me a few $100s because my insurance didn't cover it. Luckily, I'm doing better these days. Yeah, I would have been depressed if that bill showed up.
And it varies from person to person, apparently.
Like all those drugs. For a few $100s, though, I'm like, it better work. Avia says, I also listen to artists who are younger than me. At least I try to. If it's not for me, I don't hate on them. I assume it's not for me. I like Lil Nas X, for example, or Billie Eilish. They do new interesting stuff. I can never get into Drake, but it's obviously just not for me. Yeah, I think also I just like the idea of artists that have been established for a while trying something different. I think a lot of people say they like that stuff, but then they don't really like that stuff. But I like that stuff. Let's see. Pamela says, my birthday is in mid-June, so I take the week off. Not because I'm a believer in birthday weeks or months. I just have a lot of paid time off. This year was with the new Juneteenth holiday. That week off plus that extra day was glorious, despite the demon heat. In the future, I'll make sure that my June week off is always touching Juneteenth. Yes, I love to coordinate PTO with a holiday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the finesse. And the poll was, did you get Juneteenth off this year? 39% of our audience said yes, but 48% said no, and 13% said I ain't got no job, man. But I really feel like that number should have been higher. But I hate to sound cynical. I knew it. That's why I was like, just get it while you can. Get everything you can from guilty feeling white people, because there's just going to come a time where they're like, yeah, we're not doing that no more.
Right. I know a lot of jobs are doing like the other person who wrote in was saying like a floating
PTO, which, yeah. I mean, I guess you could argue it counts, but and maybe it's only because it was a Saturday. So we'll really see next year if it's not on a Saturday or Sunday. But still, there's something about it where you're like, yeah, that's not the same. People need that day off.
Right.
And I don't care about the wokey woke. Like, we not, but white people should have to work. I don't give a fuck about that. Just, if it's an observed holiday, then observe it.
Agreed.
And it shouldn't be observed until I don't feel guilty about it. Now on the Spotify poll, the percentage of people that got Juneteenth off was 10% higher. So it was 50% because they got money and they don't just have jobs. They got them
good jobs.
They got them good jobs. Probably good government jobs.
I was about to say them good government jobs.
They probably got them good government jobs.
With them benefits and shit.
They in the union and they know it's going to be recognized.
Got them 401ks.
When you go out one of the names on the front of the building, you can do that. When it's, something and then your last name, you can say Juneteenth is off for me. 44% did not, and 7% ain't got no job. Now, this is where it's interesting because I've been speculating this for a while. We just found out 13% of the blackouttips.com people ain't got no job. But only 7% of the Spotify people ain't got no job.
Oh yeah, they grinding, they working.
They got money, is all I'm saying, okay? Mm-hmm. They keep trying to deny that they got money.
Don't they be denied? They be writing their hint of Rod.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
That's how you know they got money.
But numbers don't lie.
People with money always talking about how they ain't got no money.
That's how they keep it.
The Q&A was Happy Juneteenth. Keenan says, I took it very personal. White Family says, I work at school as an administrator. All 12-month employees get the 10th off. Love it. Oh Heavens Kevin says, Ravenclaw gang. Gang. We in the building. Creasy says, same to you, fam. As a Spotify user, yes, I do like to spend my money on that white girl. Sniff. Okay, enjoy that cocaine. To freedom, says Roger. Miss Barnes says, happy Juneteenth, free-ish since 1865. James Clay says, happy Juneteenth to you, Rod and Karen. Nelson says, as much as I wish I was off, I ended getting called to do a double, so I'll just take that on top of a holiday. Happy Juneteenth, y'all, says Jay. So, man, I hate you had to work on it, but at least it's getting paid double.
Come on.
I honestly think a lot of black people at the time might have been like, can we at least get double pay?
You know that
there was like nothing times 2 is 0. I was like, damn, you got us, white man.
Come on, if y'all wanted people to work these holidays, pay double overtime. Y'all wouldn't have no problem people bringing their asses into work.
It's the financial freedom for me. Episode 2550 with my dad for our annual Father's Day tradition. He was in the building. And we got comments, 2 comments. Classic R&B lover says, hello, Rod and Karen. It's so funny how things work. Today, I listened to the Father's Day episode with your dad, which was great as always. You mentioned that you were on another podcast. I can't recall if it was 3 Guys On or Firestarter, and you received a dismissive comment from a listener for still discussing the Will Smith, Chris Rock, Oscar incident. To support your assertion that the act was a big-ass deal, the following happened at the high school that I work at. And it was 3 Guys On. One of the safety agents was playing around with some of the kids who were waiting to be called for their test. The kids were being silly, jokingly saying that they would do what they would do to the agent. The agent responded that he would Will Smith them. The teenage boys each put their hand on their left cheek to mimic being smacked and tilted their heads much like Rock did. So yes, that moment was a big ass deal and remains so to the point where being Will Smith is understood to mean smacking the hell out of somebody. I guess it's so weird because like we do this show, we talk about pop culture and frivolous shit, and then sometimes we interlace it with serious stuff. And it's, it's kind of like, to me, I like to think of it as a thing where like it brings all kinds of people to the show and it keeps the show being relevant and kind of honest, and we can make it light when we want it to be light, we can be heavy when we want to be heavy, or we feel like we have to be. And yeah, that slap was kind of both. It was relevant, it was serious, it was light, but mostly it was a cultural touchstone moment that people are going to remember where they were when they saw it for years. And I don't understand why we would need to ignore that, Right. This is, to me, it's kind of weird. And I feel like if I listened to a podcast and they were talking about it and I didn't want to hear about it anymore, I'd either fast forward or skip it or stop listening, but I wouldn't write in and act like they were crazy for talking about one of the biggest news moments of the year, and probably will be remembered for years after that.
Yeah, there's also, I guess in my opinion, one of the things where people feel like, well, I'm tired of talking about it, so why don't y'all, why y'all still talking about it? But like you say, you write in, and when you write in, we're going to talk about it again because you brought it up again. So are you really, I guess my thing is, are you really tired of talking about it? And
honestly, what I feel is that they're not tired of talking about it because I think what they're saying is, I'm tired of hearing your opinion that I don't agree with.
Right.
Or like, I want y'all to be quiet because y'all don't agree with me. But if we were saying what they agreed with, they wouldn't be telling us they were tired of hearing about it. They'd be like, oh no, I'm glad you're talking about it. Someone needs to get this out here. Brooklyn Shoe Baby says, I love when your parents are on Rod. I can always tell when you got your humor. It's a nice tradition. Your dad has that smooth cat daddy voice. Just an all around good episode. Thanks. I just think he puts that voice on for the show. He wears shades.
Old man be old man.
Yeah, he wears shades and he's too cool.
I know, we in the house. He got full shades.
Yeah, but whatever it takes to get them on. The poll was, do you have student loan debt? Yes, no, or I didn't go to school. 57% said yes, 35% said no, and 8%, about 9% said they didn't go to school. Now, if you go to Spotify, 62% have student loan debt. It's probably because they stayed in school longer and they got them good jobs. So they doctors and lawyers and shit. And then 35% said no, and 2% didn't go to school. So they all went to school over at Spotify University and shit. The comment was Happy Father's Day. Keenan says that Will Smith shout out at the beginning of Black Capitalism hit different now. For someone as petty as me, I like it more. Yeah. Shout out to Will Smith.
He does it at the beginning.
Honestly, you could probably sync up the video of him slapping Chris Rock to the beat.
You probably could.
Shout out to Will Smith. And then right as he slapped him, be like, slap every day I'm getting into this paper. Miss Barnes said, shout out to your dad for wearing the proper blue. Yeah, he came on with Duke trying to troll. It's all good. Raphael says the sugar on the lawn made me only think about ants. My imagination runs wild. Now I know your dad is always cool. Happy Father's Day to all the papas of the Black Autism Nation. Back to finding you that 9-minute doc. Yeah. The official correspondent of Africa for the Three Guys On Nation. He be sending in book reports.
It's a homework assignment.
Yeah.
The sugar on the grass. Yeah, I think about ants too, but they outside in their own territory, so they can do their thing. I just don't want them in the house.
All right. Dante says sugar on lawn better than sugar on grits. Couldn't agree more. I wouldn't put sugar on either, but couldn't agree more. I would worry about ants too, and then worry about the ants getting diabetes or now the ants is thick. 2551 Knuckle Dragger was an episode. And we had a couple comments. Appia says Corona update Germany. They went down a long time. Now they went back up again a bit. I heard the new variants are affecting the lungs more. That's not great. Yeah, I read that article too.
That's not good at all.
Because we had guests, we didn't do a lot of coronavirus news this week. A colleague of mine, 27-year-old female, got COVID for the second time in a short time, under 2 months. She was vaccinated. The second time was worse. She's also pregnant, so even worse. I talked to her today. She seems better. My parents are getting the second booster now. We are too young, so I guess I'm hoping for the best. Yeah, and they just had it in their household, at Appia's household. So yeah, man, this shit where they talk about the new versions being resistant and attacking the lungs more, still doesn't seem like they're killing anybody. Luckily the numbers for death and the numbers for infections have increasingly been separate. Like, they're not correlated as much as they used to be. Right. So vaccines and the new strains don't seem to be as deadly, but I just, and I know it's a mental hurdle and it's just going to be a while. And I just have to accept that because I'm not ready to go back to routine shit without a mask.
Nope.
Knowing that, this shit is still out here in a way that with the long COVID stuff, we don't know enough. And I listened to a podcast, I want to say Ezra Klein show or Vox Conversation, but I think it was Ezra Klein. And he talked with an expert on long COVID, and there's just a lot of we don't know. I would like to know. You know what I mean? I don't know how long it takes to get that knowledge, but somebody has to figure out something to be like, yo, this is what's making long COVID and the different forms of long COVID and stuff.
Yeah, they still finding out because
it's a lot of research happening.
Guess what? The long is whatever the date is. That's how long. So for them, they like, we still don't actually know.
So, and then when you talk about people having heart issues and shit after long COVID or after sometimes even mild asymptomatic COVID, people have heart events within a year. Those things, they definitely make you, at least for me, I shouldn't say you, they make me feel a bit more like, man, I really want to make sure the things I take a risk for are worth it to me, because I don't want to just be getting it out here bullshitting.
Agreed.
Ms. Barnes says, I learned something new every day. I had no idea that knuckle dragger was to be taken in offense, just like I had no idea that spaz was ableist. It reminded me of when I made a comment at work and someone called me a biscuit eater. Later on, I had a coworker mention that if I said that If said to the wrong person, it could have been taken in offense. I'm like, how? She goes into this explanation about how everyone is not from the South and how it could be considered a slight. I'm like, okay, and shrugged it off, but I was still mystified at how something country could be taken in offense.
Right.
Yeah, it's a fine line because, you know, that's why it was kind of interesting, and it's to talk about the Lizzo thing, because I don't want people to come away with this idea that, because I've seen people do this and I don't agree with them. Lizzo shouldn't have apologized. This is the problem. Fuck y'all. And I would say kiss my ass and all this shit. I don't think that's the lesson to take from that. But I do think, as much as I agree, support all that stuff with what she said, I also do understand the slippery slope of it, which is that it's not always coming from a place of enlightenment and actual discourse and understanding. Some of the sentiment around that stuff is very much like, do what the fuck we told you, or we're gonna harass you. Mm-hmm. And that is the part I'm always wary of, because you hope that there's a middle ground where people can like be artists and make their choices, and there's a level of understanding and investment. And then there's also a world where you hope that those artists aren't out here just trying to like fuck with people's feelings and be defiant and hurt people and shit. And we've seen so many times how much the internet, social media affects these young people on there. And that's the part I worry about, is watching it go wrong so many times. You're like, fuck, you know, like I hope this doesn't go wrong. I'm not saying it will. I just hope we're not here where someone decides something else is offensive. She goes, I don't want to change this one. And then people go, well, that's because you hate blank people, or you don't care, or whatever. And I think that's the part I always worry about, because I don't think that's healthy.
No, it's not. And it's one of those things where you can almost see it going that way. It's one of those things where you want to be inclusive, you want to acknowledge, you don't want to be a dick about it. So I understand, those certain things, but I can see both sides. I can understand somebody to change it, and I can understand somebody that was like, no, kiss my ass. So it's almost like an individual thing when it comes to that, because she's the one that has to live with the consequences, the repercussions of changing it and or leaving it.
Yeah, and I think, if we're being honest, people need to admit, like, we make these choices all the time.
Yes, we do.
Like, you can be told something, and then you have to, like, the truth of the matter is, you have to be the one willing to live with it. Like, I've just decided that. Like, when like Stacey Abrams had made a thread about how she's gonna actually make sure that police have a living wage in Georgia to stop the turnover in the juvenile police department, police area policing, which has something like a 90% turnover rate, which is, I just don't think people understand how destabilizing. Even if you're a person that wants to abolish policing, that's not how you want it done. And we can't hold anybody accountable. You don't have, like, so she wants to do that. She wants to establish a database that tracks police that have had infractions, so that, these people don't get hired in new police departments, because right now no one's tracking it. You can abuse somebody in one part of Georgia or some other state, come to another part of the state and be like, I want to be a hot police officer here, and there's no one tracking that you were abusive.
Right.
Anyway, so she's not an idiot. So obviously her idea wasn't as simple as like, I want to fund the police, give the police money, I love police. That was not what she was saying. But I made a thread that was kind of like, well, this is what she's doing and why she has to do it.
Right.
And as much as Twitter has a lot of like staunch opinions, because we've all surrounded ourselves in these silos with people that only agree with us. Mm-hmm. So obviously the furthest extreme opinion on my side would be the most popular opinion, right? Because of that, there's a disconnect from reality, because we just think we're winning because we're only around people we agree with.
Right.
We are winning every culture war because we've dictated what the culture is. But then when you come to the reality on the ground, the politicians don't deal in only Twitter. They have to deal with real life. So no matter how not scary it is to me to say defund the police, because everyone in my social circle says defund the police and it's not a big deal, we're all anti-police, I am not building a coalition of voters. I'm building an online follower, or maybe an online community. where we don't even live in the same states. We don't all vote in the same elections.
Nope.
We don't really do anything together other than be online. If I were running for office in my state, I would actually need to convince people that defund the police is correct, and I can't cherry pick out. I can't say, well, only these 12 people are going to be allowed to vote in my election because they agree with my defund. The rest of this community, fuck y'all. So now I have to convince people, and there's not enough groundwork being done by the defund the police people and many other movements. But I'm just starting. This is the one that there's not enough groundwork being done to convince hearts and minds on the ground. Like a march isn't enough. Like there needs to be, how are you organizing policy? How are you organizing your candidates? What candidates are you running? How many of them have won office? How much fundraising have they gotten? These are real issues that are bigger than just being online. Of course it's easy online. We all agree, but we also fight all day with the people who don't.
Right.
So we have a false sense of reality because we can lock those people away. When Stacey Abrams has to go convince the community to vote for her, and she's being attacked with these ads that say she's going to defund the police, and they're scary tactic ads, but they're effective.
Yes, they are.
And it doesn't matter that you're tweeting people shouldn't be scared about that. They are. So how does she get elected in a world where they are? She can't lose to make you feel good.
Right.
I need her to win, even if she gets in office and goes, I'm not going to do that. I would still respect that more than her saying she's going to do it and lose it. Honestly, it's terrible to say she's going to do it and lose. As far as like, I'm gonna defund the police and then you lose. I'm like, that's stupid. You shouldn't have did that.
And me and you feel like that, but I've come to the conclusion there's so many people that feel the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'm to the point to where I'm not trying to find. I'm going, y'all niggas are stupid. Like I just came to that conclusion. It is stupid and it is performative, and I'm not here for it. I want results and I want to win. Because what I am goddamn sick and tired of is when Roe v. Wade got overturned, going online and all you see is motherfuckers crying. The same motherfuckers that was the problem in the first place. Like that's the thing that makes me angry and makes me highly upset.
Yeah, so I just, anyway, this is long ass tangent is to say, I've said that shit. I knew there were gonna be some people that didn't agree. I knew there were gonna be people that quote tweeted and try to dunk on me and dismiss me and you blue check niggas and all that stuff, right? But the point of me saying it isn't about being everybody's friend or getting the most likes and follows and retweets. That's what I believe, and honestly, I said it because I'm the person that can handle that. You ain't gonna like it. That's how I see shit now. Like, okay, then I'll just be the person you don't have to like. I'm not like, these are my feelings on my social media, and if you don't like it, that's fine. You're not required to. I'm not gonna fight you and disrespect you. Just cool. You didn't like it, and go tell everybody, you voice your displeasure. But here's the thing: the same reason that I don't think Stacey Abrams should cater to you online is the same reason I'm not doing it, because you don't have no power and you don't do anything but complain.
Right.
I can see if you had if you would spend less time trying to make everybody bow down to your social media points of view and actually making inroads and changing people's minds and being diplomatic outside of social media, maybe you would have the mandate that you want to have. But you're not just gonna punk me through the illusion of social media. It's not real. Your opinion of me has no bearing. Well, someone had said, well, this tweet won't age well. And I said, what does a tweet aging well matter? Like, think about what you're saying. That only matters if I care that you don't like my opinion 6 months from now.
If I care.
But I don't care. And if 6 tweets from June stop Stacey Abrams from being the fucking governor of Georgia, then that will be Georgia's voters' fault. Because that's stupid. If you wanted more Kemp, you wanted more Brian Kemp, you were okay with more Brian Kemp, because Stacey Abrams didn't go let's burn all the bridges with the police. That's on you. Like, they were like, well, I don't like you painting this as anti-police to disagree with her. Dog, I'm anti-police. So I don't even know what the offense is being. This is a fact. I ain't never gonna see a politician win in the South that's anti-police.
Nope.
Not for no governor, not for no senator, not for no congressperson. more than like maybe congressperson, but very, very not the significant offices I think we need.
Right.
You're not gonna get that, and I'm fine with that. Let's win. You know. So anyway, that my point being, Lizzo. I just hope Lizzo is the kind of person that can take it. Because whatever side you pick now, it's gonna be some sort of fucking like you did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
This woman did something beautiful and genuine and tried to be accepting, and it still happened. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, when people see the game and they just go, well, I'm not doing anything because, you know, I understand why. Not that I always agree with them hard stances, but I understand why. Because they was like, what we're not going to do is go down this road. And what they are doing, they're calling your bluff, which is you don't have no power. Like, that's what they literally look at you in the face and going, you don't have no power. And what are you going to do? Still be on this platform, still be mad, still rave. My life does not change.
All right. All right. And then that was all the comments. The poll was the weatherman being purposely racist? The knuckle dragger one. 79% of our audience says yes. 21% say no. And then on Spotify, the percentage is 60% say he was purposely being racist using knuckle dragger. 41% say no. So they got jobs and maybe they closer to white people. I don't know. But I'm gonna lie, I would have put no. I really did. I hadn't, but
I wouldn't have picked up on it.
Honestly, I'm not close enough with white people and white culture to know, to be honest. Like, so I bow to y'all's. A lot of y'all love white people a lot, so y'all would know better than me how they hate rolls. But I really have never heard knuckle dragger before as a racist term. I always thought it was like some caveman Neanderthal shit. I feel like it's the optics of a white man saying it about a black man. So y'all, even if you would have said he's a tennis baller, y'all would have been like, that's racist. Like, it just feels racist.
So, yes, yeah, and I understand. Sometimes the shit just like you don't. It's
also
what it is.
I feel like if I asked this question a week ago before this incident happened and there was no Draymond Green, any of this, if I just said, hey, is knuckle dragger racist? People would have said no.
I agree.
I don't like not to shit on these people in the poll, but I think it's like you can't divorce it from this incident. So now it is racist and will forever be racist to you. But I feel like before this, y'all didn't think it was racist. And I didn't either. And I guess I will be from now on. Somebody say knuckle dragger, I'm gonna be like, what that mean?
My ears gonna perk up.
But before this, I've been like, no, that's not racist. Like, if Charles Barkley would have called that man a knuckle dragger, I would have been like, yeah, he thinks he's stupid and a Neanderthal. If he would have called a white person a Neanderthal. Anyway. Happy World Productivity Day. Get back to work.
Oh no.
Yes, a boss, says Roger. Choco Bean says, I've been working 2 jobs for over a year and I'm working as a field supervisor for an intern and just moved into an apartment. I really don't know a day without working. Ms. Barnes says, now I want reparations. Raphael says, hey, yes, and all work and no play. Oops, my bad. I mean, keep up the hard work and productivity, people, while I finish this German beer I'm drinking. Work hard, America. Papa loves you. Kadian says, no kissy emoji. Still on holiday for another 9 days.
Enjoy your holiday, baby.
T. Sterling says, it's Juneteenth. They're delivering my mail, but I still have to go to, they aren't delivering my mail, but I still have to go to work when I'm supposed to have all federal holidays off. Dracaris. And Thaddeus says, what did prison abolitionists do to Rod? Laugh my ass off. They catch heat every opportunity. First of all, it's not every opportunity. Okay, that's not true. I am a prison abolitionist. I'm the one that's saying when we cover these crimes, prison abolition is the right way to go. You should be asking what they did to Karen. She the one that's always like, no, people need to go to jail. I don't want to hear it. So why are you addressing me in this way, Thaddeus, when I'm the one that's on your side? I mean, please. What more do I have to say? I say even in extreme cases. A white man does a hate crime on innocent black people in broad daylight and gets captured by the police. And what am I saying? I'm the first one to say, hey, this is why we need prison abolition. Nothing should happen to this man. He should just get to go back on the streets, go to his house, live in there with his guns, and what nothing could be done about it. We have a nice little chat with them, and then we go, "Hey, buddy, cut it out." And then he goes, "All right, my bad. I was tripping. I didn't mean to irrevocably take the life of those people for the rest of ever. It's time for prison abolition." Okay, like, and for y'all say like, "Well, Rod, you just saying that because it never happened to you." Wrong. Okay, I've had people steal stuff from me. Somebody broke in my car once. Did I want to see them go to prison? No. So since I didn't want that in my one particular situation, nobody should ever want it in any situation ever, because they would not be as morally righteous as I am, brother. So I'm not sure where you're picking up on me saying something negative, but I just feel like you need to let that go. But at the same time, I forgive you because I'm a prison abolitionist. So even if you don't let it go, okay, I'm letting it go. You're welcome. Also, that one prison abolitionist what is her name? Prison Culture got me blocked on Twitter, y'all.
Oh no!
I don't know what I ever did to her, but I'm blocked. It could be the blockchain. All I know is if she uses the tools of the white man's online justice system to block my black voice, that's not a prison abolitionist.
Yeah,
to
people
me.
do the blockchain.
Okay,
they like block this person.
Everybody should be unblocked, because you know what jail is? Jail is blocking people in real life. Think about it. What is jail other than sending somebody to mute? Like, unmute, unblock me, sis. 2552, the Holy Ghost runs the light. We had Kev on stage on the show. Well, we did get a bill because the stage crew was in the house. So we got a bill from Crowdcast that said,
we saved up for it. They was like, hey, you ran a red light.
A lot of people in here. All right, so the comments, we got a couple say, Ramsey D. Jenkins, 5 stars. When our favorite uncle, dad, godfather comes on the podcast, the jokes and laughter are infectious. One of the best episodes of 2022. Thank you. I feel like I would call Kev like a cousin, though, not uncle, dad, godfather. You know what I'm saying? Like, he younger than us. We was doing this around the same time, and like, I don't know. I root for him like he's a cousin in my head. When I see something happening good for him,
I'd be so happy for him.
I'll be like, let's go, man. Good things happening to good people. He genuinely seemed like a good person. And, yeah, I fuck with that dude. Ms. Barnes says, in between blessings, breathe all kinds of life in me. It's always a good time to be had with Kev on stage and the stage crew, aka the Stage Hive, but with excellent manners. They show up, they show out, they spend money, they know the dates of events, they own it. I'm surprised that we did not hit 1,000 in the chat, and I know Crowdcast was like, here's your bill. They were, and we didn't hit 1,000 live in the chat, but I want to say after that, because everyone who registers, they continue to count them. So just because they're not in the room live doesn't mean they're not counted. And so at the end of the thing, they'll be like, you had 1,000 people register for this event. So we may have actually got over 1,000 by this point.
Yeah, and people go back and replays and stuff.
Yeah, and we put it on YouTube too, on our YouTube channel. I haven't gone and looked at the numbers for that, but like, yeah, the numbers around that, man, are always astronomical. Yeah, there's 1,092 that have been registered for that podcast right now, which is his online compare is crazy. Like, looking on that same page, which shows about our last 20 something shows, the second highest is Nick Jew with 134. So you got 1,092 and then 134, and then Roy Wood Jr. is 129. So like, yeah, that he the stage crew ain't no joke.
They roll deep.
Yeah, and even some people was like, "Yo, we gonna listen to y'all." Like, I'd love to see another black couple podcasting and stuff, which is cool. I just hope I don't run them off with all my cussing and foul mouthness and talking about, stuff like that.
And also, we started at 5. I think last time we was later on in the afternoon, so a lot of them may have been stuck in 5 o'clock traffic. Yeah. So that's why that's what's happening.
Could have been. Thank you for supporting us. Little Blacks was the comment on the show. Oh wait, there's another comment, right? No, that was it. That was the Q&A. I forgot to do the poll. The poll: have you ever been in church rooting against the Holy Ghost taking too long? 61% of our audience said yes, which is how you know they go to black church.
They be like, wrap it up, B, wrap it up.
17% said no. So I don't know who these saints are, but good for them.
they ain't a part of the ain'ts. They're the real saints.
I love God. 22% said I never gone to a church with the Holy Ghost up in there. So they probably go to white church or not church at all, because Catholic church, they don't have Holy Ghost breaks. Which is always interesting because like Catholicism, Protestant, all this stuff, it's all stemming from the same Bible. But it's weird how like just based on which denomination you are, some of them is like the Holy Ghost come in here, have his way, and it's gonna be 30-40 minutes. Sorry.
And some of
them is like, shut it up, shut that shit up. We don't need none of that. What you doing?
We trying to get home before the football game.
Right. Pass the collection plate and get back in your car. What's wrong with you? We
trying to get to Olive Garden by 11 a.m. Wrap it up.
Here's a cracker and some wine. Now get on out of here. Thank you for supporting us. Oh, and then the poll results on Spotify. 68% have rooted against the Holy Ghost. Take it too long. That makes sense. Okay, compared to 61%, because see, these people got jobs. So they like, I gotta work.
They look, I done paid my tithes. Time to wrap this up.
Either this is my weekend and I only get a precious few hours off, or I have to go work today because I got a Spotify job. I got money. And then 22% said no, they haven't, which is actually higher as well. And that's because they got good jobs. They're like, you know what? I can take my time. I don't got to know where to go. This is my time off. Let the Holy Ghost run through. I'm good. Or maybe they the preacher, because preachers get paid. So they got Spotify and that's how they and then 22%, and then 11%, which is half, said they've never gone to a church with the Holy Ghost up in there. And then the Q&A was, thank you for supporting us, Little Blacks. Langston says, thank you for reminding me I need to try that Chick-fil-A peach milkshake on my way home today. Aaron says, support Small Black Podcast. Ms. Barnes says, anytime. Citra says, always. Keith says, we all we got. And Leash says, my pleasure. Thank y'all, all of y'all, for real. We didn't get into it because I didn't want to start no problems, but Kev is a sugar grits eater, so I just maybe an Arby's eater. I don't want to put that shade on him. He might not be an Arby's guy. I don't remember. But I definitely didn't want to start the sugar grits debate. But peach and a milkshake don't sound good to me. And I didn't want to. I figured if I said that, we'd be into, discussing the whole sugar grits thing. And I just said, we can't do that. We don't have the time. It would have been hours.
I don't know if I've had. I'm trying to think. Have I? I may have had a peach milkshake.
Yeah, but the fact that you don't remember and hearing that it's back at Chick-fil-A didn't make you want to go get one. I rest my case. Stay inside, kids. 2553. That's when we had Tim Barnes on the show for the first time. Did an interview with him. Capadonna says, I was the nerdy kid in my hood too. My church mama thought I was worshiping the devil. They will throw that devil on you when they don't understand your hobbies.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, old black people love to be like something the devil because they don't get it.
Right.
Turn that Nintendo off. That ain't nothing but the devil. You like, yes. What? That is not how the devil works. My church and mama thought I was worshiping the devil for a hot minute because I read a lot of fantasy and horror books. Pops was just happy he had to save up for debate club trips and not bail or court fees. And shout out to the
ain't that the truth? I'd rather pay for debate club trips too.
And shout out to Inland Empire because I live 10 minutes from the freaky theater where Tim worked. And now I need to bring even more bleached white for the seats. Roger says, I have been a geek all my life, indoctrinated as a child to have love for all things nerd, mostly sci-fi. But when I hit middle school, I started running into problems at home and at school because being a geek and a nerd was not considered very feminine. This would cause me to shut down for a long time, and I would not talk for a period of my time in my life and about my love of all things geek. It was not until college that I would be very open about it because I found people who did not judge me for being a woman most of the time. Our girl Vero P says, great interview and fun guest. And the poll was, have you ever gotten or given oral at a movie theater? Yes or no? 29% yes, 71% no. Okay. And for the Spotify poll, 11% yes, 89% no, which makes sense because they got money. They're like, if it's not a hotel or something comfortable, they
got high standards.
I only do this oral stuff in situations where I feel safe and comfortable. A movie theater is not one.
Okay. Anybody can walk in on us.
Like movie theaters, cars. These are the refuges of places where you don't have other places to go. Like it's not never, but it's rarely is it somebody's first idea. Normally those are the ideas of horned up teenagers that don't have the money or the resources to be other places. So now you in a car or a movie theater or the mall or a booth at a restaurant or something because it's not ideal,
Right.
Not saying nobody, but just in general. And then the comment, if you can't ground me if I want to stay inside. Bokai says grounding me is what turned me into a nerd. Lee says, yes, the fuck I can. Okay, I'm sorry, you got kids. And Nelson says,
that sounds like a personal attack.
Nelson says, never gotten a blowjob in the movie theater. My extent was getting a hand job and fingering on a different occasion. Okay, well, congratulations. Humble brag. Let's get to we got a couple. We got 4 voicemails. I haven't listened to these, so I have no idea.
Okay, we all listening together.
All right, 704-557-0186, right?
Yep, 704-557-0186.
All right, the first voicemail was short and blank.
Hey, Meredith, this is Zach from Carolina Cooks. I just wanted to give you a call and let you know that we did actually just receive your range this afternoon. So we can go ahead and set up that delivery for you. The soonest we would be able to deliver would be tomorrow afternoon, or we can do Thursday anytime.
Y'all called the wrong number. This.
Give me a call back when you get a chance. My number is.
All right, that's not.
I don't know. So somebody missed their Range Rover appointment.
Yeah. Hope that worked out for them.
I hope they did too. Hope they realized they dialed the wrong number.
This person left 4 voicemails, so I'm pretty sure it's not the wrong number.
It had something to say, didn't it?
Good grief, 4?
Sailor Agony. Hey, Rod and Karen. Yeah, I'm just going to say it. I'm really sick and tired of white liberals, and I'm really, really sick and tired of their woe is me shit. And I'm obviously saying this because of what took what transpired from the Supreme Court.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I look at the time of this email, so it's on Thursday. So this is right after finding out they officially. Yeah, I think maybe there are people that tune in today to probably hear some Cornel West Black Prophetic Rage type thing from our show, and maybe it's not too late, maybe they'll get that. But to be honest, man, I've been mad. We knew this shit when it leaked. I was right. I'm not shocked or surprised right now. But because I've told you I've been mad, I don't even really have an extra level of anger today. This is chicken coming home to roost. We told you. And I don't mean we told you in 2020. We told you in 2016.
Correct.
The only thing that is, to me, the only thing about this moment that I find annoying is this idea that I'm not able to vent right now. I'm supposed to let it go.
Right. Kiss my ass.
That ain't happening over here.
Nope.
Because if I told you something for 6 years and you mocked me for 4 of those 6 years, got your shit together a little bit in 2020, and now you expect everything to be rainbows and sunshine, like we didn't tell you what you did in 2016 was literally you can't undo it quickly. We were like, this will have repercussions forever. This is serious. And people were like, Donald Trump is cute, it's funny. People were like, well, it can't get too bad. It doesn't even really matter who's president. People told us
are the same.
Stop trying to guilt me. Don't shame me. I don't want to hear about the Supreme Court. We heard all those things. So if you think that I'm gonna sit up here and not have my moment of, man, fuck y'all, because it's been fuck y'all, but now it's really fuck y'all. You know what I mean? Like, and like the thing I keep trying to stress to people it's not about the people who are like, well, we voted. What else you want us to do? Well, one, keep voting.
Keep voting.
Like, that's what the whole point is. They kept voting for 50 years to get what they wanted.
Yes, they did.
Don't give me that weak shit. Like, this is that part where that Gen X, I think, kicks in, and I'm like, you know, I normally try to lean away from it because I want to be considerate of other people. But in this motherfucking moment, I'm Gen X to the fullest. Fuck your feelings. Keep voting. Because what you said to me in 2016 when you didn't vote was fuck my feelings and fuck my life. Because you knew the people you put in charge explicitly said, fuck Black Lives Matter, fuck black people. Yay, fucking like bang their heads. Mexicans are rapists. And you let that happen. When we all knew it was a danger extinction level event, you were like, haha, LOLs, fun, lols. And you moved on like it was fine, like your life would be fine. And the only reason you came crawling back in 2020 is because that man tried to destroy the country so bad that you got scared because you were like, oh, I was wrong. Life isn't fine. I have to vote for Joe Biden. You got a lesser candidate in Joe Biden because you waited 4 years. Because you needed to have Trump on your neck before you would admit that you were wrong. So I'm going to have this moment, and it's going to be a long moment.
Yes, it is.
And the thing for me is, if you vote and you continue to vote and you're trying to spread the word and do the right things, it ain't about you. People keep saying it's just a small group of people. Then stop taking up for them niggas because they deserve this. If it's not you, then don't be mad. If you're just triggered by negative emotions and people being upset, that's fine. Tune out. I get it. But for me, this is a venting that needs to happen because I'm not moving on until I'm sure these people get it. And what I'm seeing right now is a bunch of people that don't get it because I see people still being snarky like, so I guess you keep saying we can vote our way out of this. Well, who votes for the Supreme Court? And it's like, you fucking dummy. You do.
Yes, you do.
And when you don't vote for the Supreme Court because you put the people in the place that make the decisions. And until you're willing to cop to your part in it, we're going to just be back here yelling again.
Right.
So I'll try not to make the day a fire and brimstone day because, as I said, we've been right. We've been said we supposed to say. If people would have listened to us, it'd been fine. But motherfuckers ain't want to listen. So, yeah, right now, if you still on that bullshit, you catch both barrels. I don't fuck with you. And I'm gonna keep talking shit about your ass. And you can talk shit about me because I don't care. I know I'm right. Like, this ain't no motherfucking like it's a difference of opinion shit. I know I was right to mitigate the harm of this nation by putting people in place that would do better than the worst people. That didn't even seem like a complicated equation to me. Right. So I know what my path would have given us, and you see what your path gave us, and you still want more of that, then you are just as evil as the fucking Republicans. You're just as bad as the extremists in the Tea Party and the right wing people. You are bad. You are a bad person to me. So if you just see all this shit and go, it's all good, hope y'all can deal with that. Isn't it funny? Y'all didn't vote for Bernie or y'all didn't vote for so and so. So fuck y'all. I'm sorry. I can take you not agreeing with me. I don't find you to be a worthwhile person. All right, back to this. Sorry.
And to see their bitching and moaning and like, don't say lesser of two evils. Like, I wasn't even mad when the decision came down because I knew this is the result of 2016. And if to be perfectly honest, it's kind of been the result of midterms prior and presidential elections prior, and the same fucking people, the same bitching pieces of shit keep doing the same old song and dance. I mean, this is bigger than, the Democrats got to do something about it. And I'm like, motherfucker, they're taking the tools away from you. And you still ask Dems, hell, you probably still ask black and brown folks to fucking do your fucking bidding again and again and again to save this country from the brink again. While white liberals, even conservatives, obviously, look at the brink right in the face and are like, oh, I don't know how we could stop or end this. And they do it over and over again. And I see that my 2 minutes is about to end, and I have another call that I'm going to take. So give me a second.
3 more calls, actually.
Had a lot to say.
We honestly haven't learned shit from 2010. I mean, 2016, but we haven't learned shit from 2010, 2014, 2000. We haven't even learned from that. And we're doing the same shit over and over again. Thinking doing the same old bitch and always going to change the fucking result. Like, it's like I might have maybe like 3 or 4 people probably saw my thread because a lot of people follow me on Twitter. Some folks will wonder, but whatever. I said something to the brink of like a lot of this shit's like Occupy Wall Street, but on Twitter, or just more delusional, whatever. I forgot how I said it, but it's like it's more the same old complaining, and it's more the same old woe is me crap. And I know people are like, "Oh, we could afford to lose. Like we could never afford to lose an election." I mean, hello, Black on the line, and you know, Black and brown folks cannot afford to see democracy go to the shitter because you want to quit. You want to take the ball and go home because it got so hard. And you want to come up with snarky takes like, voting harder. Just, stop telling us to vote. Well, maybe don't become an electorate. Maybe give that ability to vote to someone else and not your bitching ass over and over again. That's the problem with our side, is they don't know how to fight and they don't have the will to fight. And we always end up here. It's sickening.
It's weird too because I've seen people do this thing a lot where they go, vote is Democrats' version of thoughts and prayers. And I find that interesting because I would just like them to explain how Republicans got where they at, because it seems like it was voting that did it.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't, like, I'm still trying to understand, because like even if you go where they're rigging the system and they rig shit by getting in power to do the rigging.
By how people voting them in.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I'm saying. Like, it's always voted. They never gave up. They never gave up. They just, the Roe v. Wade is the perfect moment because it's 50 years of them not giving up.
Mm-hmm.
They did Cam Newton's gif of on the sideline.
Yes, they did.
Nodding his head and putting his helmet on and going out there and scoring another touchdown, because they never gave up. Generation work. Voting is generational work.
Mm-hmm.
So when I invoke my ancestors as a reason that I go vote, I mean it. And I don't, and if you feel guilty about it, that's your fault.
Ain't it though?
But I do it. You ask me why I do it. That's part of the reason I do it. It's because it's a legacy they've handed down for me, because it's generations of work that they've done to even get the right to vote. So yeah, I proudly have voted in all the elections I've been eligible to vote in. It doesn't, I'm not even saying like I'm a hero. I'm saying it like it's just continuing what they did. They the heroes. But when you let your guard down, when you let shit slide, this is where we end up. I got 2 more.
Come hell or high water, Republicans are going to try to take this country back. And I think the silver lining from all of this is I think people are starting to wake up and seeing that, oh, this is not a joke anymore. This is the real deal. This is this is a serious matter, right? And I'm like, great, but a large part of me is like, I sure wish you saw that many years prior. I wish it didn't happen. Half the country or just people on our side to realize, oh, this is serious, and maybe I shouldn't have been so willing to lambast our side because of how 2016 transpired. And it's like, I'm glad you're here, but it's like I wish you would have saw this, like, because they're never gonna give up ever. Like, they'll be Republicans in 2100, still trying to take away rights, and they'll do it. And if people on our side keep doing that woe is me shit, we can be woe is me into slavery. Woe is me into slavery, root mayors, all that. I'm so tired of this shit.
Well, also, like, that's a couple things there. One is, what are white women voters going to do? Because this is directly in your wheelhouse. Like, 57, like, they had 53% vote for him in 2016, and then 57% in, like, or whatever. Someone's gonna write in to correct the percentage to 56, but suck my dick. You know what the fuck I mean. Stop typing the email right now, goddammit. Delete that shit. But there's a higher percentage of them voted for him according to exit polls in 2020, not a lower percentage. Like, a higher percentage saw 4 years of what Donald Trump did and went, I'll take more of that, please. That's all the main. Those are going to be some of the faces you see out here at these marches. They're going to be some of the people that you see online. And the question becomes, what is going to change in your demographic that is so broken by loving white supremacy? What is going to change to make y'all go, I don't love white supremacy enough to give the autonomy of my body back? And we're talking about the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will not be changed unless you add more justices. You can't add more justices unless you hit enough Democrats in office that will say, we're going to pass adding more judges. This is not a thing where a president just goes, I'm gonna add 3 judges, guys. It's up to me. That's not how it works. So yeah, man, that's the white women is what I keep thinking about. It's like, what are y'all gonna change? Because I mean, I'm not sure what more you need to see.
Agreed.
Last one from him.
This is Karen. Thank you. And I meant to send this like months or so ago, but I got sick with coronavirus like back in April, and I meant to really, really like give you an at a girl or at a woman with what you said about voting, and this is that this is back in April, like it's not just that it meant a lot to me, but it's like we need that, man. Like we really need that. Like this is some serious shit, and I'm glad I mean, this show and other shows, they don't get in that white liberal bubble like a lot of shows do. Even some black liberal center shows do that shit, and it's a chat in my ass. Either on Twitter or on podcasts, and I've had to kind of just get rid of them in some way, shape, or form. But I wanted to say thank you for what you said. Back in April, I think it was back in April, when you basically you let it out, man. You let all that rage and anger out, and we needed that very much. And I love the show. Been a long time listener. Hope I wasn't too cussy. Take care.
Yep. So, you good? Move to the next one.
Thank you, sweetie. I think that most of the time, I'm similar to Roderick. There's always an underlying anger for me. It's just always there. It's just this anger, that's just low key always there. I don't really tap into it that much. I try my best not to, because you can't stay angry all of the time. And it's one of those things where it's anger inducing, it's depressing, it's sad. It will send your emotions all over the place. Uh, so for me, you have to have a level of stability where you go, okay, I need to get these emotions in check. What needs to be done, and what can we do to accomplish these goals? And the bottom line is vote. And vote is the least you can do. Like, that's the bare minimum. And a lot of people are taking the bare minimum for granted. And so when you take the bare minimum for granted, when that gets taken away from you, what else do you have? What other tools do you have? Because once that is taken away, there's not too much you can do after that, because then the people in power can, like, anything you come up with, they can just make laws against it and make it illegal. So that you can no longer do the things that you can do. Organizations, nah, we ain't trying to hear that. Protesting, nah, we ain't trying to hear that. Places that you gather to form strategies, we'll start banning these places. We'll start raiding these places. And the thing is, America thinks it's above these other countries, but you're not. A lot of these laws and things that they're passing are very draconian, if I'm pronouncing that right. Draconian.
Dracon, like Dracula.
Draconian.
Yeah.
And we point our noses up at these other countries and talking about how they living in like these old times. We're actually doing some of the same things.
Yep.
And so how can we, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. How can you look at Saudi Arabia and people that are Muslim descent and talk about their women and how oppressed they are?
Also, like, it's connected.
Correct.
Like, in that judgment they've had about Roe v. Wade, let's say you're a person that agrees with that. Well, then the next thing they said was birth control. And like, they want to look at getting same-sex marriage overturned. And now I saw John Cornyn, I think that's how you pronounce his name, or Corwin, Republican, talking about overturning Plessy versus Ferguson.
Yeah.
Brown versus the Board of Education. Like, people think they're safe. They think that Republicans are going to stop. But I just want y'all to remember, when the first decision leaked about this, it's the wording from Alito was, don't worry about the other rights. We're not going to use this logic for stuff other than this. It's just going to apply to this one thing about abortion. And then Clarence Thomas's decision, which is official, not the unofficial statement from Alito. The official statement is, we actually are looking at these other rights, and we may roll those back. We need to re-examine all of them. They're full bore going to try to drag this country back down. And you're not safe just because you agree with some of this shit. You think I'm annoyed by the idea of the trans people. Okay, cool. Well, you're not safe, because it's going to come to you one day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, you don't have your rights because you didn't think it was a priority to stop this shit when it wasn't on you.
Correct. And like we said on Three Guys, we was on Three Guys On, I talked about this, and I talked about how the people in New York are like up in arms and panicking and shit.
Hold on. Yeah, explain why though.
About the gun laws. And
the Supreme Court basically said you have the right to carry in New York City and other municipalities where they have said that you actually don't have the right to carry a gun in their local laws, for their own safety things. So in that case, unlike the abortion case, they say your state laws do not supersede the federal laws. In the abortion case, they say the state laws are what you should go by and not a federal law.
Yeah, they flip-flopping, and it's very confusing. Like, what determines which law is what, And it's also one of those things where, like I said, the people in New York are panicking, like the lawmakers and shit. Like, they was like, hey, this is a thing of safety, because safety matters. And, and I talked about on Three Guys On how everybody wants, people in New York want people to rally around them, which we should. And at the same time, the South never forgets. A lot of people up there just thought the gun thing was a down south thing, was out west thing. Everybody thought it was a joke. Everybody thought it was a game. Everybody thought them just some bumpkins down there, and everybody just carry a gun around. Ha 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 ha. Even though gun violence happens all across this motherfucking country, everywhere. But y'all thought y'all was safe. And so it's one of those things, when they come down here, I'm scared. Everybody got a gun, concealed weapons. Well, y'all about to have this same problem too. Y'all about to be on the subway with these bitches. Y'all about to be driving. People gonna blow their horns. It's gonna be like it's getting ready to change the dynamic of where you stay. But when you thought you were safe, quote unquote, that this shit would never impact you, quote unquote, y'all had jokes. You didn't take it seriously. You didn't want to help the people down south when they was like, hey, y'all, these things are a problem. We need to pass these laws. Nothing, it's a lot of people up there that didn't take it seriously. They were proud New Yorkers. And so it's one of those things to where, now the tables have turned and all of a sudden it's an emergency for you. But it should have been an emergency for you the whole time. A lot of people only care because this shit directly impacts them now. A lot of people never cared about abortion and all that shit, but now it directly impacts you. And it's sad, but it's like they're going to have to chip down and chip down and chip down until it gets to your issue, and then you're going to be concerned.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, I remember in 2016 specifically, people that were in blue states that they knew would go for president, they go blue. And then they would go online on their platforms, which aren't local, which aren't just the people in their state. And they would advocate against the Democratic candidate at the time, Hillary Clinton, and be like, I'm not voting for you. Earn my vote or lose. You need to change every policy about yourself. I'll just won't vote then. Don't worry about it. And people, no matter how much people say, hey, this is irresponsible, they said, fuck you, I'm right. No one knows what they're talking about, only me. And when she lost, which my personal belief is they never thought she would lose.
Agreed.
But when she lost, it was crickets.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea being, hey, I'm in California. I'm fine. Well, y'all had a recall election. Y'all, since Trump's been in office, the Supreme Court now has a bunch of fucking conservatives on it that are saying, well, federally, if we see fit, we won't acknowledge your local law. So whatever was your safe haven, we're not going to let it be safe. And so, yeah, I do. Those are the people. I don't think it's a majority or whatever. I just think there is a lot of people that think they're safe. And I'm not mocking you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying, I hope you're motivated by the fact that you're not safe. That was always an illusion. And we just been dealing with the thick of it because we're down here where you can't not fight. But a lot of y'all have been not fighting and advocating for taking the fight off. And you got what you wanted. You got enough people because I think most of this is at the feet of social media platforms, but you've gotten enough people to be diluted into this. There's a baseline of safety that we all have. And now it's like, you don't have that. Now, hopefully you see it, because that's just the first one of a long line of shit they're going to take. Stuff that you thought you had fought for, things you thought you could take for granted and depend on, and no more.
Right. And it's also one of those things where a lot of the decisions and things that they're making are getting ready to have a ripple effect all across this country, regardless of who's in your local house, who's in your local Senate, and all that type of stuff. Like, you're getting ready to see a lot of states come out the woodwork and pass all these backwards ass laws because they can. You're getting ready to see a lot of these places come out, and it's getting ready, because basically the Supreme Court, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Supreme Court is giving a rallying cry to everybody that has been in the dark and hadn't really spoke out about this shit. They getting ready to come out full force. They getting ready to come out in big numbers, and they getting ready to push.
Here's a great example. Beaumont Spectrum is in Michigan. It's a health organization. It's the largest health organization. They said, even though it's not illegal, even though Michigan has a Democrat as a governor, they said they're going to discontinue most abortions after this ruling. So in Michigan, it was fair to think we're a safe haven. Even after this ruling, we should still be safe. We voted. We did our job, quote unquote. And at least in 2016, you did your job. 2020, you did your job. Because in 2016, I'm sorry, 2018 probably. But 2016, you actually, I believe Michigan went red, if I'm not mistaken, for Trump. But at any rate, they're not safe. There were people within that state that are in charge of health, the largest health people, that went, this is good. The cover's clear. We don't gotta do abortions no more. We don't want to do them. And you go, but it's my right. Yeah, well, I don't want to do it. Now what? And what are you stating for the reason of not doing it? The Supreme Court. And they can be like, because they genuinely just don't want to do it, or they could actually be scared. They could be scared that
they don't want no lawsuits.
They could be scared that you make it retroactive.
Yes.
Oh, you did an abortion in 2020 when the Supreme Court, we're now making that prosecutable. They don't know. And it's all because we let shit slip in 2016. It's a very simple decision. I can't believe we are talking like this.
Right.
It seemed like it should be the most no-brainer, easy decision, but here we are.
Right. And it's one of the things to where, and I know we've kind of, quote unquote, beaten at that husband. It's one of those things where my tolerance level is 0 on people who say both sides are the same. My tolerance level is 0 for the people that throw their votes any and everywhere. I don't want to hear that. We have a 2-party system. Yes, we need more parties, but also people need to do the groundwork to make these parties valuable. They're not valuable, so we have to work within the system that we're in. My tolerance is not there. I'm like, okay, so this happened. Y'all know with November, it's time to vote again. For some of these houses and senates and all this stuff, like these shits is coming up again. Okay, so all this crying, all this whining, all these tears I see across my timeline, all this wailing, all this, ripping your clothes, the ashes I see on social media. Will you still have this same energy in November? Will you take your ass to the motherfucking polls in November? Will you? Or is it all a performance? Because I am tired of the motherfucking performances that I see online. I am tired of people talking and wailing and crying, being all sad, being all depressed. Not to say that you don't feel these things, not to say that these things aren't real and they don't impact you. They do, but I want actions behind this. I want how you feel right now, the same way you feel right now. Arguing with people, this same energy. I want you to take your ass to the motherfucking polls in November, because that shit's gonna matter.
Right.
People think, and not to get on a tangent, but this right here is the beginning of something. It's not the end of something. It's the motherfucking start of something. They're sending out warning signs. We're getting ready to take this country back. People fail to realize this shit go back to Trump. Take the country back. Back to what, bitch? Back to where, bitch? I've said that since the beginning. His whole thing is it was better when white men were the only people in power, the only people that could vote, the only people in charge, and nobody else had any rights. That's what they're taking it back to. And they will if we allow them to. And it's one of these things where social media has got a lot of people fucked up. Y'all need to stop arguing with these people online. Don't argue with stupid people online. I'm for real. Don't argue with them. Don't raise your blood pressure. Do not waste your time. Their mind is already made up. What you need to do is talk to your family members and your loved ones and people you have direct contact with that can actually impact your local elections, because this is the shit that matter. Talk to your hotep ass uncle. Talk to your silly ass mama. Talk to your cousins. Talk to your ignorant ass family members and tell them, nigga, fucking vote. What is wrong with you? Talk to those people. Get your ass offline and do something that goddamn matters.
Yeah, I think 2016 was the end of something for a lot of people, and they just didn't know it. Like people don't want us to be mad in 2022 about 2016, but I can't not be mad. This is what I said what happened, and you laughed it off. You downplayed it. You acted like, we fucked up one time, lols. And it's like, no, I've been mad since 2016. And you can come listen to the podcast episode probably from the day after the election in 2016. You can probably listen to that episode and hear me go, this Roe v. Wade is on the table. I guarantee you I said it. So now they want me to have no emotional content to the seething rage I've had for 6 years. They want me to move on like it's all good. I am not capable of that in this case. I am angrier than you, and I'm mad at you. And if you feel bad about it, I hope you do feel bad about it. I want you to feel bad. I want you to remember this moment like when a fucking NFL team loses in the playoffs and they sit on the other team's field and watch them have a parade and a celebration and get confetti, and they go, I'm gonna use this motivation so I never feel this way again. I honestly hope people feel that way, the rage and frustration. And I do have hope though, because what people aren't understanding is like in our election, I imagine it's this way in many places, but in our primaries here in North Carolina and Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, they pushed them back because of COVID and a bunch of stuff and the legal stuff that was going on in the courts between Republicans and Democrats. They actually pushed our November primaries till like June of this year. So basically over 6 months. We had the highest turnout we've ever had in the primary. And that's with them moving it. It probably would have been higher in November. And of course, it's because we're in a Democratic place. It's like you had a month of free early voting. You had a button, not very many restrictions to voting. The point being, that inspires me because that is not the 2020 election. That's not a presidential election. This is the primaries for a midterm, and we had the highest turnout. So that impresses upon me that regardless of the Twitter malfeasance and the people that are malcontents and will never fucking get it, in real life, there's enough people who are like, I don't care what they're saying online. I'm going to get out of my house and go to a polling place, or I'm going to mail my vote in. That is so important. And that inspires me because what happens is we are online, we see so many people we disagree with, we start spouting this against them, and we don't like that, and we use our podcast as a platform and probably spend way too much time talking about these people. But the truth of the matter is, I don't think those people are winning. Those people that demotivate a lot of people, there are people that learn from that said, I won't be demotivated again. Joe Biden had the highest turnout of all time, and these motherfuckers was at home talking about he gonna lose and he ain't a good candidate and he's senile and all this shit that they were laughing and thinking that shit was funny, and then they fucking like I won't vote for him, fuck him, and then he won anyway. So like, I don't know that these people had that much power, but I am that much mad at them because in 2016 they did have that much power, and they were the crime. They laid the blueprint down for the big lie for Republicans. They did so much damage to us while claiming to be on our side. I wouldn't be mad if they weren't acting like they were on my side. Just get from around me. That's all I'm asking. Just tell me you don't give a fuck. Don't try to tell me you give so much a fuck that's why you don't vote. No, you're not on my team. That's all.
Yeah, and I think for me, and then we can go on, I can't speak for nobody else, but the one reason why I really hadn't been saying anything online, I'm kind of using the platform as a way to kind of get my emotions out, is because I'm very, very livid. I'm very livid and I'm very upset. I can't speak for nobody else, but I remember how hurt, sad, depressed, enraged, and disappointed I was in this country when Trump voted. I remember that. I remember, and I will never forget the flood of emotions that rolled over me. Never, for the rest of my life. I will never forget that. And I will never forget me telling people that this shit mattered. I will never forget how the country showed me that it did not care. So when people don't care, You have to make them care with laws.
You know, our podcast was one of the few where people actually emailed us, left comments, because the thing I said on the eve of the election was Trump could win and we'll wake up with the democracy we deserve.
You sure did.
And people were hitting me up like, wow, you really called it. And I'm like, it's not like I had some prophecy. It's just so many people were deluded that there were podcasts going, LOL, ha ha ha, he'll never win. You know, but he has made America great again. He has been successful. He has done it. He has been the most impactful president of my lifetime. He won. And he's continuing to win. These are his victories. January 6th is his victory. It's his work. All this shit is a result of us laying down on the job like, it'll be all good. Don't worry about it. But yeah, he's winning. He continues to win. He's winning the culture war. He's winning the legal war. All this shit. The courts having all these people in it that are his folks. The Supreme Court is having a lasting legacy. If nothing else, he'll be the man who won back the Supreme Court for Republicans in a way that probably makes it impossible to gain back. And these people are young, stupid, and people that are committed to conservative talking points forever. Yeah, this is not some easily undone thing. And so if you don't like people being upset about it, then too bad, because I'm gonna be upset about it for a long time, for the rest of my life, probably.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna be upset, and I have a right to be mad. I have a right to be mad. I have a right to be upset. I have a right to voice my rage. I really do, because you know what them other people do? Consistently tell you how they feel about shit. They consistently tell you what they like and what they don't like, but still want you to shut up and just let them come out here and just do this. Well, guess what? It's my time.
Their feelings are the only ones that's supposed to matter,
right?
But and that's the thing. Like, here's all right. This is all I'm gonna say is this: I'm empowered by the fact that the vast majority of people agree with what I'm saying, whether they too chicken shit to tell you to your fucking face, or whatever, they too chicken shit to like have an attitude about it and be angry and passionate. That's on them. They want to be friends with everybody. I don't. So I'm gonna tell you the truth, because I need to stake my boundaries out. I need boundaries in my life that say, get from around me with that middling bullshit that got us in this problem in the first place. I'm a fighter. I fight. You know what I mean? Like, I want the smoke when it comes to this situation. So I get it. If you're not built for that life, I'm built for it. I come from a place with chimneys. It's smoke all around all the time. So like, if this ain't nothing, just talking online or just someone not liking your podcast, that means nothing to me.
Right.
Oh, fine. I'm at that point now. I've dodged that for a bit. I tried to be friends with everybody. But I feel like that shit it's a lie. Because I'm not friends with people that think it's optional whether my life matters. I'm not friends with you if you think it's optional whether trans people should be respected in this country. I'm not friends with you if you think somebody can't get married because they're same sex because you didn't like Hillary Clinton. I'm not friends with you. You're a bad person. You're an enemy. You just as bad as them, if not worse, because you think you on my side when you're not. All right, next voicemail.
Whew. Hi, Ron and Karen. It's Allegra. I felt that in my spirit. Let me back up a bit. 2541, episode 2541, Dr. Umar getting the white digits. And you guys are doing Fucking with Black People, which is, side note, one of my favorite segments for the song, and also just because we are constantly being fucked with. But anyway, let me get to the point, because as you know, I always get cut off. Yeah, why are we complaining about Black foods, but like then complaining that we don't get what it's like, what? So like, I'll eat the fuck out of a watermelon salad. Maybe I won't pay $10 for it. I don't know. Maybe I will. I'm bougie like that. But like, that's what we ate. I will tear up watermelon. I look forward to watermelon every fucking summer. Like, why are we mad about this? Like, what? And then it speaks to, as you were saying, Rod, the embarrassment of blackness. I'm not embarrassed to be black. I love being black. I don't want to be anything other than black. So, like, I don't get it. I don't get and I'm with you, Karen. I don't get it. It makes no fucking sense.
Nope.
Ooh, I made that under time. All right. Yay, me. Like,
and she also sent this one the day after. But yeah, I'm totally on. Like, I'm not ashamed of black food. Period. I don't even know why they try to. I will not be promoting that. like, yeah, put the fried chicken on the menu. Let's fucking go.
The fried fish and everything else fried.
Hi, you two. It's Allegra. I'm getting on here trying to, once again, not go past my limits. So let me get to the point. I woke up this morning to a WhatsApp chat of my friends telling me of the most recent decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. It is Friday morning, June the 24th. I'm laying here in my bed in Bay Area, California, and I am fuming. I'm on here to say to you, Karen, and you, Rod, but Karen, the moment you've been saying this for a while, and I've agreed with you, I thought it and you said it for me, that we're on a path to slavery. We absolutely fucking are.
Yes.
Every little bit, every little piece that is taken is to rebuild that particular socioeconomic construct for this country. And I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted. And I just wanted to let y'all know that, of no surprise, I'm sure, but just to say it and to acknowledge, Karen, that I 100% agree. I 100% agree with you. Well, guys, thanks for always speaking what I'm thinking, even if you guys don't know it. And with that, I have love. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And it's one of those things when I say that, a lot of people, because people put like this, white people, TM, the white people label, has been wanting to take us back to slavery since people started having rights that weren't white. Like that's been the whole goal. They've tolerated us. They like, well, I guess, as long as, they don't get so big, as long as, they don't think they're too good. And so this goes to the riots. This goes to them burning down black cities. This goes to Tulsa. This goes to all that stuff. Like, we don't mind, but you better not do too much. You better not be too big. And as time went on, and as particularly once schools became integrated and they couldn't pump these lies to their children, telling them that there was something inferior about these black people. Like, some of their children actually started interacting with us, started marrying us, started, oh, black people ain't that bad. You had a shift, you had a change in the country where more white people say, hey, I actually know black people. They're not a fairy tale. They're not a myth. No, they don't have tails, and so slowly the law started changing in this country. But the foundational root of these white people was the same. They don't like anybody that's not white. That foundation does not change. And now you almost have like a course correction. So some of these same people have always been mad and always been angry, but they couldn't say anything because the laws didn't allow them to. They couldn't go out and do things because the laws wouldn't allow them to. All of a sudden, they was going to be prosecuted and all of this type of stuff. But the foundation of that has never changed. The goal has always been, we want to go back to where we were in charge, because when we was in charge, that was the greatest of the times. That was the best of the time. This is why you have people to do the reenactments of the Civil War and things like that. This is why you have people, sit and reminisce about, how great it used to be years ago when nobody else had any rights, and so now you have overcorrection. And I think it started with Trump. When Trump started getting power, you had a lot of white people who have always had problems and issues with black and brown and others and all these isms. They've always had these issues, but Trump allowed them to actually tap into that. So when they actually tapped into that, it allowed that rage and that anger, and they felt justified in these things, and they wouldn't shut down. They weren't told to be quiet. And all of a sudden, online started, popping up and stuff like that. So all of a sudden, they started finding these communities. And so now that they're loud and they're proud, and guess what? You're not going to get them to go back into the closet. You're going to have to actually push and fight laws, because as far as they're concerned, they want to take it back to the good old days, and the good old days is slavery.
Yep. Yeah, and they're not done. So, last voicemail. Oh wait, I have one more point. What is, you don't have bodily autonomy and the right to abortion if not slavery? What is, they also ruled that you can't sue the police for not reading your Miranda rights. How's that not slavery?
Right.
What is, we will supersede the law in your state where you can now conceal carry in the middle of a mass shooting pandemic, if not slavery? What is that if not slavery? All right, last voicemail.
Hi, Rod and Karen. This is Olivia in Japan. This is not my first time calling, and I'm not even calling about anything that was on the show this past week. I wanted to know if you guys knew that the infamous Alfonso Rivera clip about him in the club talking about
yes,
lovely blonde white chick. Did you know that there's a whole rap? He does a whole rap. There's a rap. He does a freestyle after that speech. Have y'all heard it? I just saw it like 10 seconds ago, and I immediately picked up my phone to call you. That's it. That's all I'm calling about. I'll have a more decent, proper contribution to your voicemail at a later date. Love you guys.
I had to let y'all know. No, I've never heard the rap. I've just heard the clip.
I don't know why I thought we had played it on the show, or maybe the clip we saw was only the short one. So we just played everything we had, but we didn't get to whatever was supposed to be the part with with him rapping at the end. I only heard it because Langston Kerman had a clip from his podcast go viral, and so social media was sharing it a lot, and then people were of course sending it to us because it's one of our favorite clips to play on the show about him loving them white women. And I had never heard the rap part, so because I just didn't, I guess whatever clip I looked at must have cut off.
I think it did.
So here it is.
Hey, listen, don't f with me, because there's some hot white
pussy out here tonight.
Hey, Alfonso. Now, I gotta say, listen, I have been known to f some white girls in my lifetime. Yeah! Okay, now
this is probably what Clarence Thomas was watching when he started writing them decisions.
I have spent my life on some TMZ, and every time you see me in a club, guess who I walk out with?
A white bitch!
Who is that? A lovely blonde white chick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool too. Every
motherfucking time. I think you full of shit, motherfucker. And I can tell you, and I can think of that when I take a blow on Come on now. I take a break, I break a line. Come on.
Why did he think,
oh no!
Why did he think this was a good idea?
I don't know, but he bust out in the 80s rapping.
Well, he did have that video for Can You Rap when he was a kid.
Oh, he did. Shout out to Guys On.
I just don't know what he thought made this a good idea. Like, if you're a white woman in the audience, wouldn't you be cringing too? Like, this isn't a very flattering.
No, this is not.
I mean, the white women are. It's very like, wow. It's like also like this is the thing, right? I don't want to get too far into these stereotypes, okay? And I'm just gonna touch on it lightly and move on. But This is why I don't like the fetishization of people's race in this way. Because when you say white women, the same way I feel when people say like I'm in the BBC or some shit, you mean anybody. And I'm not saying everybody, okay? I'm not saying everybody. But clearly from the results, it's a lot of brothers on that anybody, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen them. We know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to be polite. Not trying, but you've seen the results of what they come back from the fishing hole with. And it's a lot of, I just like anybody that's white. Ain't nothing special about you. Ain't nothing significant about you. I'm in love with just your whiteness. Y'all do the math in y'all head with everything else that encompasses as far as how you evaluate people. But you can tell on the surface level what they cared about the most when you look at the results. Okay. You look at Clarence Thomas and his wife looked like your girl looked like this gentleman meme, and you go, well, I see what you cared about the most.
I break about, come on. Every time I want to sing, every time I want to think I'm in a house, I make a break about, come on. I want a little white.
When was this? Because this ain't that long ago that he would be talking like this, right? Like, this was never the style of rap. No. Except for like 1980.
I told you this is 80 style rap.
Yeah. So like,
it's like a shot on a VHS tape.
Oh, come on.
Ha 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 ha. It's like a jungle outside.
It's like a jungle bunny outside. It made me wonder. Oh.
I don't know what I say, but I get everybody wanna say what?
This is not really a good freestyle because
and if I was a white woman, I would not be impressed by these rhymes.
Yeah, he's not even really rhyming. He's just saying it in that old school rapper cadence. I say, hey, come on now, everybody. I say, what? Like, it's not like he didn't. I honestly, maybe that's if he would have spit a hot 16 on these white women, maybe I had to give him some credit.
Right.
If he, maybe I would have had to be like, all right, you know what? I don't like what he said, but I got to give him credit. It was flames. He really had a convincing, compelling freestyle on why we need to be fucking with these white women. But he's just like, oh, come on now. I'll say what now? Everybody, put your hands together.
I know, clap your hands, everybody.
Right. He's not even doing the old school.
These are the breaks.
He isn't doing all the old school calls either, where it's like, you know, if you're white and proud, to get your hands up or something, you know, like the
he out here rapping like me.
Right. And somebody say, oh, like he's not even doing
somebody
that.
Say, oh yeah.
Right.
Come on, get
fucked.
A white chick get in the house, get come on, bring it down, set it down.
That's y'all oversold this as a rap. That's not a rap.
What the heck to come and get him, sir?
Get fucked. A white chick will get fucked. Everybody. Wow. Yeah, that's embarrassing for him. Wow. Unfortunate.
Oh.
Jesus. Now what you hear is not a test.
Right?
I'm rapping to the beat.
Ha ha ha.
All right, let's get to these.
What the hell is happening?
We got emails, the blackout@gmail.com. What a bad look. Jesus Christ. Not even like it didn't even say anything exceptional about white women. Just be white. Also, do you knew this video existed when he was out here bitching and moaning about not being accepted by the black community?
Oh, I don't know.
Nigga, you didn't accept us. Ain't nobody calling out of blackness.
Oh, no.
Just say you want to be with them and leave us out of it, fam. I swear to God, we'll be fine.
We will be fine.
We'll be fine. We don't need all this. Just go over there and be with white people exclusively and never bring us up. And I swear, we'll all be like, I wonder if that person only likes white people. But none of us will say it out loud. We won't be attacking you. We won't be coming for you for the most part. Just leave us out of your narrative, dog.
I'm fine with it.
There will be some. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's always some that's gonna be hating, but the same amount of people that will be hating in any situation.
Right.
Just ignore that and leave us alone, because ain't nobody kick you out of blackness. It just happened to be these niggas that make this excuse after they do some wild shit like this. Like if you got some wild comments you done said about black people,
and didn't expect nobody to respond,
or some shit like this where it's like, I just love me some white women, then don't act like it's us. Like, we don't gaslight us like we crazy. We just hate Carlton for no reason. Like, nigga, you know what you do? Show evil spirit talking out your side. Like, I hate, these white women's, am I right? And then I just don't know why the black community has a problem accepting its own. Like, nigga, you got a problem accepting your own. Fuck you talking about?
Right, and you insulting the white women.
All right. And yeah, if you're a white woman that fuck with Carlton, you a loser. Like, this make it less respect for your ass than him now. I'm like, damn, that worked on you? No game.
Raise the standards, ladies.
Right. What did he say that convinced you to go out with him? Well, he did a rap. Well, it wasn't really a rap. It's kind of like him talking on a beat. And he just said, fuck any white bitch, anytime, anyway. It don't matter to me as long as you white.
I fit that description. No, ma'am.
Come on, y'all. Over to the break. Like, what you talking? Now, what you hit is not a test. I need some whites. Well, my name is Alfonso. I'm here to say that I love white women in a major way.
Yes.
I like they perk plus. I like they I like they pumpkin spice. I like everything. They naughty and I'm nice. All right, we got birthday wish for a fan. Hi, Rod and Karen. Next Saturday, June 25th, is my husband's 40th birthday. Can you please congratulate him? He loves your podcast. His name is Jonathan Howard. Jonathan Howard, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, baby.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Walgreens employee murders his coworker at the Michael sent this article to us about a Walgreens employee, 28, murders his coworker, 17, that she turned down his advances and complained to supervisors he was making her feel uncomfortable.
You won't put that in Guess the Race, or?
Nah, I don't. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't cover these articles in Guess the Race. And it's not like, because I'm such a great person, but it's they're such bummers. And I try to find funnier ones, or at least a different take. If we're gonna cover like a murder, then it need to be like, woman kills husband by hiring his ex girlfriend to like something kind of with a twist. But here's the thing. I don't cover these articles, but I read these articles almost every day because we do this show and I'm out looking for articles to cover. Mm-hmm. We could do more articles about this than sword ratchetness.
Probably could, yes.
And I mean specifically men killing women because of some possessive entitlement that they have to women. That's an epidemic in itself. It's probably more dangerous than mass shootings. It gets less coverage and people just think that's the way it has to be, and that's the way it is. Men take no responsibility in it. We still have a society that makes women act like women are the crazy ones and all this type, and the emotional ones, and they must be on their period. Meanwhile, every day I read multiple articles and put them to the side and don't put them on the show of some man killing a woman or raping a woman or something horrible. As a dude today, as proof positive, this is not me trying to be like, I'm telling the truth. I haven't cataloged them all, but this is how often it is. Today, I read an article about a dude who had a woman he met on a dating app, came over to his apartment. He kidnapped, he locked her in the apartment, sexually assaulted her, physically assaulted her, and she was only able to get free by he allowed her to use her phone to order some food, and she left a note in there like, I'm kidnapped, I'm trapped, please help me.
Like in the thing in the app.
Please be discreet, please don't, but I need the police. It was 5 a.m. and then the police got there at 6 a.m. and arrested him and stuff. But
wow,
my point is, something harrowing like that is happening every day in this country, in multiple times, in multiple places. So yeah, and he said this is rape culture, and I'm like, yeah, you goddamn right it is, and it's also American culture, and it's also men culture, right? It's like it's a problem, and yet you got men, straight men, who get more offended at the fact that you bring it up. They get more offended by the fact that like it's a problem. And they say that shit, oh, he just a little boy. Why you got to make it? This is the problem I got with feminists and shit. And it's like, nah, dog, this shit is whack as fuck. You know, like this shit is super whack, and dangerous. And we can't just keep acting like it's not an epidemic of violence. And we can't just act. So when you see some woman venting about men or something, this is why I don't feel the need to jump in and correct nothing. Like if you truly wanted to look at the face and the depth of this problem, you're not going to arrive at a point where you like, what the problem is women need to take it easier on men online. That's not the problem.
Oh, yeah. Women don't want to hear that. Or anybody that's in an abusive relationship, they don't want to hear that, or have survived abusive relationships, they don't want to hear that. And you know, a lot of people, and that's that privilege, from a place of privilege where they've never been on the receiving end or never been in a position like that. They speak from a lot of times from a place of ignorance and a place of knowledge that they don't have. And you actually don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You need to shut up.
All right, next one, general feedback. Our girl Mary writes saying, hi, Rod and Karen. Just wanted to say I'm glad you're on YouTube now. Enjoy seeing the visual podcast, even if I couldn't catch it live, but it was difficult to do it if I was using my computer for work. Now I can pop you on my TV and watch the show. Yay. Thanks for the blackout tips. Oh, I forgot about that as another benefit. You can watch YouTube on TV, so you can watch our show on your TV now.
Oh,
on your apps and stuff.
I don't know why I forgot about that. But
yes. So yeah, it's a little extra work, but thank y'all, man, that watch on YouTube. Y'all have been such an interactive community. Y'all been leaving comments and liking it, and just building y'all community and following us. I think we have over 700 followers there now.
Oh, let's go.
So thank y'all, everybody that follows the YouTube channel. And
if you haven't, go like and subscribe.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all for that. I haven't figured out how to monetize that yet, and I know people hate ads, but I don't know. I like money for my work. See, I'm what they like to call like capitalist. In that I don't like to work for free. So eventually when I figure out how to put ads in that shit, I will. But yeah, man, thank y'all to take the time out to support us over there. People have been requesting that for a while, and I even made the playlist like the person suggested. So enjoy. Movie theater hijinks. This is from Newsy.
Hey, Newsy.
You know him from Keith and the Girl. Hey, Rod. You know who's writing in, so you know what story you're about to get. I know it's gonna be it's dick time. It's business. It's business time. I used to work at a movie theater when I was 16 or 18. I used to hook up with my first boyfriend in the broom closet. Oh my God.
In the broom closet? Ain't that where they keep like the cleaning supplies?
You know what? I can't even complain because like that age of horny,
that's what you do.
It's just you're having sex wherever the two or more gathered. You know, it's just like church. You are having sex wherever two or more gathered. It just don't matter. Broom closet. What am I? How? Who are me to judge?
Who is me to judge?
To be honest, that might have been an upgrade. He used to come to the movies with his grandpa, and then he would ditch the movie claiming a stomach ache, and we would hook up. Oh man, that's a pretty diabolical move, man. That's enterprising. I also, to somebody completely different, gave head in Super Troopers, which you mentioned as an example of a movie to give head in. Also, Minority Report.
Not the Super Troopers.
You know what? Less Minority Report, but definitely Super Troopers. Yeah. But both are acceptable movies to be doing that, and
I'm not knocking it. Yeah,
honestly, I can't lie. I can't be mad at those. On a different note, it's so cowardly for managers to send teenagers to break up disputes with grown adults.
Right.
I used to have to tell full grown adults to leave when their baby was crying. They got mad because they spent money on the ticket too, but we would always refund them. Love you, Newsy. Listen,
because it's being disruptive, and the kid's going to be a kid. Like, you can't control that.
Also, what are you managing? You manager, manage the fuck.
Right.
Delegating that task to me, knowing that they ain't gonna respect me. They make you wear a tie for a reason. Go your ass out there and tell them people to get up.
Yes, sir. That's your job.
The worst is when they sell you out. Will they act like they gonna handle it? Oh, what? Like, first of all, when this is a whole thing, but when you tell them like, hey, table 3 is saying that they didn't get their food on time, but they did. I gave it to them on time and it was fine. But now they're saying they want to talk to a manager. I think they trying to scam the system and get a refund. And the manager, when you talk to them, like, they said, what? Huh? What? Oh, I know they didn't. Oh, I know. Oh, hell no. Oh, where they at? Right there?
Yeah, you know the rules.
When I get out there, I'm about to give them a piece of it. So let me get the story straight. Tell it to me again. So you gave them. Now, did you give it to them on time? You gave it to them on time. Okay. Was it hot when they got it? It was hot when they got it. Okay. Did they eat it? They ate the whole goddamn thing. Okay. So they did. They ain't gonna. Okay. Well, let me go over there to them, Rod. I'll be. You stay right here. No, I got this. You don't got to come with me. I got this. And they go over there and be like, what seems to be the problem? I am so sorry. Rod is a terrible waiter. Okay. It's his fault. I know he ain't bring that shit out on time. He don't do nothing on time. He ain't get here on time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make the meal free, and I'm gonna give you some of his tips. Yeah. No, excuse me. Everyone in this section, nobody tip Rod, please. Fuck him. He's terrible. I hate that guy. He's a liar and a piece of shit. And I'm ashamed we hired him and that y'all have to work it to eat at this IHOP and look at his ugly face the whole time. Y'all, everyone meal free. Everyone comp. I'm so sorry for this disruption. It'll never happen again. Blowjobs in the back. I suck all y'all dicks. I'm so sorry that this is happening. I apologize. Oh my, if I could commit seppuku, I'd do this shit right here in the middle of the fucking restaurant because I'm disgusted by this guy. And y'all are right not to tip. Matter of fact, he's going on break, spitting his food. That's what I'm offering y'all. Okay, so we good here? Thank you. And once again, so sorry. And then they come back to me. I told him, right? I said, listen, you son of a bitch. And I'm like, you didn't do none of that. I saw that. You sold me out.
I see you comping the meals.
Yeah, I see that I ain't getting no tips. You can't trick me.
Yeah, you act like I can't run the report and look at the sales.
God, I hate a manager. Oh, nothing worse than a manager. Earl writes in, Roe is the beginning, not the end. I'm mad as hell now. Susan Collins and Joe Manchin are whining about being misled about the confirmation hearings.
Oh, then they can kiss my ass.
You believe that? Then you believe Littlefinger was shocked when Nate Dogg got his head chopped off and shit. Even my freaking dog knew they were lying, and they were only nominated to precisely do this. All those with the bullshit reasons for not supporting Hillary have given us the Roberts Court. It is ideologically political as the RNC. The Constitution be damned. If this doesn't have you screaming at to the polls every election to vote for Democrats, you are the problem. Honestly, maybe it didn't start this way for some people where it was as simple and black and white as it was to me that you had to vote Democrat or you're really just throwing your vote away in America. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, we were on Keith and the Girl yesterday, and Keith kind of brought it up to start the show and was like, is it really that simple now? And I said, if it didn't maybe used to be, but it is now.
Right.
Like maybe there's some places where you could have felt differently, or you thought there was some form of a moderate Republican you could support, or there was some payoff for your financial lower taxes or some shit, which are not happening anymore. They're raising taxes on you and cutting them for the rich. Maybe you thought that shit a while ago, but you can't possibly think that now. You're just complicit. If you still are operating on that old paradigm, then you're part of the problem.
Yes, you are.
From president to dog catcher, we have to come out and force. Don't give me this, what had the Democrats done for black people horse shit. It's not what the Democrats will do for us. It's what they won't do to us. They won't undermine our welfare every opportunity imaginable. If you think these ass licks will stop at Roe, then you are self-deluding as Susan Collins, Joe Manchin, Earl D. Yeah, it's sad that it's gotten to that point, but that's the point I'm at. And honestly, Democrats have done shit for black people, even within the last couple years. So, like, even when people throw that out there, a lot of times they're oversimplifying and hoping that you have a lack of knowledge, so you can't cite anything that has helped Black people in the last 2 years.
Right. And, you know, just like it's one of those things where everybody goes to Democrat. No. Cinnamon and Manchin. Like, you know, I hate when people just go Democrats as a general thing. Now, if you're talking about the Democrats, okay, that's fine. Now, there are some situations where you can talk about the Democrats as a totality can do better, blah, blah, blah. But when you're talking about certain things, no, it's them two niggas. Not the Democrats as a totality, because all them other niggas actually voted for the shit. Them two, the ones that Hemmett and Howen and I won't vote and I won't vote for the filibuster. They are holding up the whole goddamn process. Be specific.
Yep. Especially when you're talking about not voting again, because you don't even live where Cinnamon and Manchin are, so you're not even talking about them. You're talking about penalizing some Democrat that voted exactly how you told them to. That's what you're talking about. All men are nonsense. Celeste says, hey, Ryder Karen, I really like the guest this week. I'm catching up and having a little more of Kev on the stage. He seems so genuine. I'm glad y'all are connected. I love the Father's Day episode. Your dad seems so cool. Karen, I was thinking about your thoughts as a Black woman on the current state of affairs. I'm also interested in yours too, Rod. I know you said a lot when the opinion leaked. Yeah, I guess, I mean, to a certain extent, you said it already. Unless there's something else you want to add. Okay. I wonder what the response to the next series of Rights to Fall will be. I don't think people who have not taken responsibility for their past choices of 2016 are suddenly going to see the light. Also am not convinced they are prepared to do the multi-year effort that will be needed for sustained protests, legal challenges, boycotts, etc. That's big. Like, it reminds me of the Pink Pussy Hat fucking march, and I'm like, okay.
And people act like people was wrong by going fuck them bitches in them goddamn pink hats.
Well, no, hold on, please. It reminds me of that march, and I said, okay, that march is cool. Where's the sustained effort? And to their credit, we had a blue wave. People always skip over that, but we did have a blue wave during that immediate 2-year period. So to their credit, we have to give it where it's due. They kept that same energy. But now it's 2022, 4 years after that march. And these motherfuckers is acting like it's time, or 6 years after that march, I guess, technically. But then they're acting like they tired again. And maybe this Roe v. Wade shit is going to wake them back up. Like, I guess
I hope it does.
That whole, we was tired and we ain't feel like doing it no more. We wasn't going to vote in our local elections after 2018. Maybe it's time to not do that. Like, honestly, if Democrat voters drop the ball, and people that say they're progressive drop the ball in 2022, there's no excuse. Like, they will use anything to keep the heat off of themselves, so they'll blame it on Democrats. But the truth is, it's them. There's nothing that can motivate them. They're nihilist and they don't care. I've seen far too much of people screaming to do something to upset the current government. Is not urging folks to stage another insurrection. Yeah, that was the funniest thing to me, was the people that dunked on Biden because he gave a speech that said, you know, he want people to peacefully protest. But
he's supposed to.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm not built like y'all. That's crazy. Because one, if you're gonna be violent at a protest, which none of you niggas were gonna be, but if you were gonna be violent at a protest, are you waiting for the president to co-sign you? Does that sound like what a violent person in a protest would do? Our side don't got guns and we don't do shit. We don't clap back like that.
Right.
You're gonna go peacefully protest. So I don't even know why you getting mad about the shit. You're just mad at dad for saying what you was gonna do.
Right. And most of the people getting mad at time and funny wouldn't dare step your foot outside for a fucking protest.
Yeah, they might go protest, but you not gonna you worried about it being peaceful? Yeah, nigga. Cause that's y'all ain't gonna do shit. You know, so it's that part of it. And it's like the other part of it is it's such an easy dunk.
Right.
He's worried about that. No president's ever gonna, not even the Republican president, is supposed to go out and tell you to be violent. Look, you niggas want Trump arrested for the insurrection. Like, y'all don't believe in what you just said about we should be inciting violence. You don't even believe that. You feel like that man should go to prison, and I agree with you. So let's not even pretend like we can do that and there be no consequences. Right. If Joe Biden came out there and acted like Trump for even a fucking second and said, oh yeah, go ahead and riot and burn cars, I don't give a fuck, people would have been like, impeach him. What is wrong with him?
Correct.
We do not operate by the same rules. And I mean we, not even the Republicans. Democrats would join Republicans in being like, yeah, Joe Biden got to go.
Yes, they would.
And then to do what exactly? Force the legal system nationally and locally to follow the new rules that y'all made up but can't agree on. Y'all can't even explain defund the police to convince people they should do that. Also, I do not trust most liberals as they talk a game on Twitter. Maybe go to a protest in a few days, and as soon as they get a minute, they are right back to either suppressing those who do want to vote or not starting with their own relatives and friends. Yep. I know so far the federal response has seemed tepid, but again, this is a binary system. It's either this or fascist theocratic people who want to really put in place all kinds of nonsense. What's clear is that they are coming for all the gains in the last 100 years. Well, you know what's funny is I wouldn't even call the response tepid in some like pejorative way, right? I'm with. I mean, I think if it's tepid, it's because we did not give them enough to make it a full-throated response.
Right.
We sent this motherfucker up there with 2 in a possible and said, can you run a Boston? And no, they don't got the cards.
Happening. Not with 2 in a possible.
Funny old Uncle Thomas didn't include interracial marriage on that list, but I bet his buddies are and will throw his ass to the wolves as soon as they can. I honestly would not put it past Clarence Thomas to think interracial marriage should be up to the states.
That's how you get around that. Yep.
I wouldn't put it past them. That being said, I do think in many ways liberals are waiting for black and brown people to take the lead in protests, so either they can sort of tap in and or out and just gain benefits from any sacrifice on our part. We shall see. We'll take care, y'all. Here's the thing. I don't think they're waiting for black people to take the lead on these protests for 2 reasons. One, they want all the credit and all the control. They would like to be able to turn the spigot on and off with protests. So white people ain't never gonna just we bow to the blacks on this one. Nah. They want to be the ones that decide when we going home from the march. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they want the credit.
Like, we tired, and niggas is like, no, we ain't, because it's most shit.
And so much of that shit is tied to like fame and media access and stuff at this point. They would not want to cede that power. So I don't see it as them taking a cue from us. And then 2, black people gonna be out there because we always out there.
Ain't we though?
We know we on the front line. We know we all we got. I mean, if you want to come to the march, come to the march. But yeah, and this is a controversial thing for 3 kind of, but I think, and I'm not knocking it, we should do it, but I think a big reaction for a lot of white people that decided to be, I'm gonna stay home. I don't fuck with the Democrats. A big part of that is that black people were so vocally in charge of things in 2016 and shit.
And Hillary Clinton got knocked for that.
From 2008 until 2016, there were a lot of black people taking charge of things. And in the aftermath of 2016, I still remember the Women's March where it was all this big hullabaloo about black women need to be the ones that were in charge of the march. So the white women that organized the march went and basically gave the leadership positions to black women who had not done the work in that organization, like organizing those marches, not any march, but that particular group. They hadn't done that work. They just gave it to them because they wanted to be good allies. And while that's a cool thing, I guarantee you a lot of those white women felt resentment and they didn't vote, or they stayed home, or they don't give a fuck, or they voted the other way. Like, there's a cost to us doing that shit. It's just, are you willing to pay the cost? You know, I personally like winning, so I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't feel the need to like, let's go out and attack all the white women for being white. I still think people were wrong for how they framed the Pussy Ad March. Because at the end of the day, those were the good white women. Like, we could always bring up 53% voted for Trump. It's like, yeah, and then 40-something% didn't.
No, they did not.
And those 40-something%, that's a lot of people. And they probably did want to voice their rage and get out and march. And yeah, we need them. The math still ain't mathing without them.
Agreed.
They don't come out, we don't win. So even if we go on to win later, it'll be because that percentage and more show up again, or at least a large part of that percentage shows up again, and we join it as a coalition. It sucks because I don't want to have to depend on them. Hey, we see what happens when you put the crux of the nation on, you end up with no fucking abortion. But until we figure out some other kind of way, we're stuck. So yeah, do your Pussy Hat March, do your fucking Roe v. Wade March. Let's go. I'm with it. You follow. Let's march all the way to them polls. All right. John says, Good morning, Rod and Karen. Just wanted to say what a great little run of guests the past week or so has been. The two Zachs, Kev on stage, Roy Wood Jr., Brandon C., Tim Barnes, etc. All really good, great, fun episodes and cool people. It's one of the things that I love most about the podcast. Y'all are always turning me on to new and incredibly talented voices. Thank you. Also, really been enjoying the ongoing discussion about Lizzo, Kendrick, and the toxicity of fandom. Karen, you nailed it. It's all about power. Fans love the little feeling of power they get from forcing somebody to apologize or bend to their request, especially if they're famous. It's always pretty clear that it's much more about the manipulative feeling than whatever principle they claim.
Right.
As Rod noted, the result is always that the fans then just move on to the next person or issue and rinse and repeat. I can't help thinking that this is also one of the big dynamics at play with progressives and their elected officials. Yeah, Bossy always brings this up when we text, and she's like, right now, it's like people are into being punitive for people who care.
Yes.
Yes, as Karen would say, yes. And so I think that's the thing is we know we can't affect the people who don't care, but rather than say that's why we applaud, support, and try to promote the people who do care, we go, no, we're gonna make their life a living hell. One of the things a lot of these celebrities have figured out is if you just never give a fuck, no one will ever say anything to you. 50 Cent will never be held accountable, canceled, or anything because he told you, I don't care. I don't care that I hate all groups of these people that y'all tell me I can't hate, and there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. I don't care.
They've gamed the system, and they kind of understand this is how it functions. And and it does not benefit you to penalize people for actually caring, because guess what? Eventually some of these people will end up not caring, and then you're going to be crying and complaining about how you don't have your numbers. It's because when I was there and I cared, you ran me off, you beat me up, you told me that me being here is worthless and pointless and not worth your time and not worth my time. Well, then why would I support something that constantly whips my ass all the time? Like, nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody, and so it's one of those things where people act like, well, why are they leaving? Because a percentage of people just beat up on white people for just being white and being around. And you're like, well, y'all do know we need them to win. And you have some people that are like, well, no. I was like, well, then you're going to lose. Like, numbers matter and these statistics do matter. And I'm just thinking about what I said before. And I think I'm still hurt and angry. I am going to take my statement back about what I said about the pink pussy hat, because I thought about what you said. Was one of the things, my first statement. We do need them. They do matter. It irritates me. It irks me. I don't care about the hats. I want results. So if you putting your hat on, get your ass to the poll, bitch. Put your pink pussy hat on and get your ass to the motherfucking polls.
Oh yeah. And like I said, I had to give them credit because 2018, they did show up and show out. Like, I can't knock that. That was a blue wave. We just need to sustain this energy. And if you're gonna knock them, then I knock them in like, other, like I would have to knock them in other areas if they didn't keep that same energy.
Correct.
When you see Virginia and you see a higher percentage of white women voted for Youngkin this time than they voted, even for Biden or for Trump, even for Trump. You're like, hey, no, that's not that pink pussy hat energy. What happened?
Right.
People get comfortable and then they fall the fuck off, and I think, I don't like this, but it's the truth. I think a lot of times certain issues come up, they get fucking quietly offended and then vow to not fuck with Democrats no more. And because a large part of what's happened on social media has become this idea of like making white people pay through through ridicule, and it shouldn't bother them or affect their votes, but they human and it do.
Yes, it does.
And it affects their participation and shit because they human. Just like if you picked on me every day, whether you thought it was justified or not, at some point I'll be like, I don't like being picked on. And I think that is a reaction that is something that's heavily focused online. I don't think it's as much offline, but it's so strong online that there's a quiet white resentment in white women that I think is not being spoken on, and it's not even being organized online in a way that makes it easy to push back. It doesn't look like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Barber. It's a silent white like resoluteness. Like, I know I'm going to the poll, and I know this will ultimately take away some of my rights, but as long as it's hurting you worse, I'm gonna do it.
Agreed. And I think that for a percentage of those people, when things happen online, everybody sees it. Not just uh black people, white people see it too, and white women see it too, and they see all the Karen jokes, and they see that stuff, and like you say, they might not come out, they might not fight with people, they might not argue with people, but they've heard about it and they've talked about it. And so in a lot of those circles, they're like, hey, I don't like to be called Karen, and I don't, I think it's unfair, and I think it's unjust. And for a lot of them, they might not say anything, and they might be like, oh yeah, I'll vote for you, but they'll do the complete opposite when it comes to voting. Now, why they feel like that and what's that based on is a whole nother story, but it is the reality of what's happening.
Yeah. Back to this. It's the same immature bullshit of trying to get powerful people to jump through hoops. It's never about the actual principle electoral policy result. Yeah, that's the main thing that I'm saying about the Lizzo shit is I worry that it's that. Sometimes it still can lead to good things, and if she learned something and she's gonna change, maybe it will help some people, maybe it will educate people about stigma, but I just worry that it's more we were looking for a reason to not like her, because people feel like people always are, and when they find something, they're gonna seize on it. P.S. Rod, you worked at the YMCA. Did you get to have a whistle or a clipboard? I did get a clipboard, no whistle. What's funny is I would often bring my own sheet for the paper for people to sign from home. I print it out and bring it to work because it made the job easier. Listen, I did the hell out of that job. I was really good at that job.
I know they missed you when your ass was gone.
Zumba part of the job sounds awful, but you're a good man for doing it. Yeah, and especially because I'm not a creep, so it's not like I'm gonna be looking in there like, look at them asses and titties. Like, I'm just. It was just annoying. It was time I couldn't be playing basketball, and it was time I had to deal with creepy men. And like, I would just walk through the hall, clear it out, go watch 5 minutes of PTI. And
come back. You had to
come
do
back
like
out, clear
you
the
had
hall.
to do like a sweep, because it would be literally the whole time they were exercising. They were like literally staying right in front of the door. So let's say you're running late for the class, you would literally have to go past the creep in order to get into the gym.
Right. Okay. But that's it. PPS. Fuck the Supreme Court. Stay safe. Love and peace and love, John. Thank you. That's everybody. That's everything. This upcoming week, I believe we're gonna try to take some days off, if not take the whole week off. We've been grinding hard consistently for a minute, and we can use some time off, some PTO, if you will. Maybe if everything's boring and the feeling strikes, we'll drop an episode or two. But just if you don't see anything in your feed, don't lose your mind and write us and tweet us and
nothing happened. The show's not ending.
Everything is okay. We just need a break. All right, that's it. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.